Okay, welcome back. Got Jonathan with me. It's all kicking off in Ukraine. We've totally smashed them. And Poland have sent a surprise stack of 5 helicopter gunships, quite leveled up as well, which is a bit of a surprise. They've literally just popped in. So I've taken their capital. I've got a stack of ships that don't have a huge amount of... Oh, no. I've got a fair bit of helicopter defence. I've got 9 in total. 1 from my frigate and 8 from my stack of boats. But we've taken their land. We've taken his cities. Oh, look, there's my anti-air kicking off.
It didn't do much. I'm not even sure they can target attack helicopters.
Yeah, I think that's my frigate, and it's got 1 attack, and it's taken 2 hit points off. So I'm not very strong against attack helicopters. But anyway, I don't know, I'll move around a bit of land. I'll be resigned to the fact I've lost a troop or two. But I've taken the capital city, and it was level 3 army base. I'm just selling it off. Have you sold off all the buildings in all the other cities you've taken?
I certainly have. So
wow,
viewers might be able to notice that Ukraine looks a little different than it did yesterday, aside from the capital. We've gone and taken 8 of their cities in total. They did take back Odessa. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. So, I mean, that's a little consolation for them. But they've lost all of their home cities and some of their occupied ones too. And the way that we did that was using Crimea. The plan perfectly came together. 4 Airborne were able to initially hop to Odessa, and then as soon as he started going to Odessa to claim that land back, hopped over to Poltava and Kharkiv, where we did come across a couple of lone troops, and then over to Donetsk, Rostov-on-Don, Bucharest and Sakeva. So the more he brought his troops in to defend his home cities, the further we moved out. And he just left them undefended. And we've taken over every city and destroyed all the buildings, lowered his overall morale. He's got no resources coming in, no troops. It's a massive blow. And I'm not expecting to hold these cities, although Tim has brought along some combat recons, but I think the damage is already done. We don't need to hold them.
Yeah, I think we need to get out of town, especially as Poland's sending in a stack of attack helicopters. We'll just lose anything. But anyway, we've totally devastated Ukraine. You went in there with your air mobiles, hit Odessa, and on screen I'm just showing all of his home cities are just gone. And he took Odessa back, but all his buildings were destroyed. So he's got no infrastructure whatsoever, and he's lost basically 5 out of 5 of his home cities. So I'm just going to move away with my stack of boats. And now we know that Poland have gunships. We can work out what's good against those. I think that's AA, isn't it, Jonathan? Anti-air.
Yes, yeah. Although it's a bit of a tricky one because AA isn't the best unit to build. It's quite good against helicopters. It's okay against planes. It's even okay against fighting some troops, but it's not particularly strong against any of those. If I was to recommend something to deal with them, it would be air superiority fighters.
Okay.
But I think Tim knows quite a lot on this. What's your take on it, Tim?
Yeah, I think we should just maybe get our planes over there, to be honest, hovering for the next attack. Maybe we can chunk a couple of the helicopters and make them stop attacking.
Nice.
Obviously, you'll most likely lose that infantry stood there. But yeah, I reckon we can intercept the next attack. Even the strike fighters do 3 damage versus helicopters, and the helicopters can't respond. So,
very good point.
I need to find my air superiority.
It's on Ankara. Mine's in Libya. Need to bring it over.
You were with some Libyan troops, weren't you?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, fine. Oh, good point, Tim. Yeah, let's go air superiority then. I hadn't realised they were so good against helicopters. Yeah.
It's like 8 attack, isn't it? 8.5, something like that.
Yeah. Okay, let's check out attack helicopters stats. Where are they even? Oh, in the helicopters tab I never go on. So, helicopter gunship. Looks like that's what they are. Okay, massive attack against troops, but they've got nothing against planes. Oh, wow. So they're not going to fight back. Is that what you said?
Yeah. Just 3 hits, and should be able to take a couple of them off if we all attack at the same time.
Brilliant.
Maybe hover Kiev. Assume he's going to go back there.
Yeah, I'm sending mine straight out, so I'll be there. You can't speed air superiority, so I'll be there in 47 minutes, which is quite a long time.
And meanwhile, I'm formulating a plan to get to Poland.
Yes, what are we saying?
So I noticed Sukiva, which is Romania's former land, west of Ukraine cities.
Yeah.
It's got a hospital on it. So after I've taken all of these cities, I've decided to move over and rally them in Sukiva. A couple of them are very weak, but I'll give them a chance to heal. And meanwhile, I'll build another airbase, and then I'll assault the Lviv complex. And now if I can take and hold that and wait for the dome to regenerate, that puts us in a very strong position where I could build another airport and we could fly in troops, and then we'd be right on the border with Poland, and we'd be able to perhaps walk some troops into Lublin.
Oh, very nice.
Ukraine's not going to be prioritizing taking this city because he's going to be taking his homeland. And it would be the first stop for Poland coming in to reclaim some of Ukraine's land. But the dome should provide us with a bit of extra protection.
Okay.
All of your troops in Greater Serbia, they can work their way up to try and take all the land below the Lviv complex, and then move east to maybe mop up whatever's going on in Ukraine, and then we'd be ready to start a front with Poland.
Yeah.
Need to get our helicopter defense in order, probably first. But yeah, that's like a couple of days away anyway, isn't it? So
yeah, great. It gives us plenty of time. So we're going air superiority, are we? All the way.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Yeah. And I've just got loads of anti-air now. So if he tries to take out our air superiority with anything, I've got mobile SAMs.
Yeah.
So that'll help. I've got
stick with strikes. You two are both going into anti-airs. I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll probably, if he's got attack gunships, he'll probably have other things like strike fighters. So we'll see what else he comes out with. But looks like he's come in guns blazing. So Poland's going to be difficult. Might not be a he, could be a she. So we'll see what Poland do. I'm just building up the infrastructure in Turkey, actually, just in case we need to get around quickly. Just a bit of military logistics on the ground, a bit of defence on Samsun, and yet cracking into Greece, really, in Greater Serbia. So taking loads of land, and just set this one on a big land grabbing right next to cities. So when I take them, so Alexandroupoli, the 2 troops on there, when it clicks over to midnight, I can move them over onto Thessaloniki, and then I'm just going to keep taking cities 2 days at a time, just going to keep building troops, and then keep reinforcing my big stack, which I'm going to be able to thud right into Poland. And so far I've got a tank destroyer, 2 armoured fighting vehicles, and a SAM launcher, and then all these troops and combat recon sort of whizzing around, taking land, taking Constantina. Should hold that. So yeah, it's going well. I'll just building a lot of land in between us that I've grabbed, so we've got plenty of notice if there's any attacks. And we should work out the reach that Poland has for its air force. It's probably right on its limits in Kiev.
So helicopters have a much shorter range than planes.
Cool.
So we could move our planes in and out of Ankara using the high-level hospital you've got there. to patrol or attack his lands. But if he's just got helicopters, he's not going to be able to reach beyond Constanta.
Okay.
And I think it's more likely he's gone into just helicopters than doing a variety of things. But it will definitely be worth looking around and seeing what kind of air bases he's got.
Yeah, I think he's got one in Warsaw. Level 2 in Warsaw, and then... Okay, he's got one in...
Białystok,
that's it. And then nowhere else. So he's certainly got that reach into the east. So he's very deliberately put airports there, knowing that he's going to have to possibly go into that zone, maybe even defend against an attack into Ukraine. So just a bit too late. I think we took them by surprise with so much force. They've just been completely caught off guard. And I was quite surprised at how quickly we went in as well. So that's worked really nicely.
Yeah, it was good.
Tim, you're doing very well in the Middle East.
Yeah, it's going pretty well.
A whole ton of troops.
Yeah, just hopping along with the Airborne, taking a couple of provinces every hour and a half. Landing outside the cities to make sure they're clear, and then just driving the infantry officer stack straight through them, leaving a couple of troops behind. I've got a big stack heading down to Hyderabad, and then I guess I'll send my infantry officer to Quetta next. Yeah, I'll waypoint that now.
Yeah. Well, you'll take loads of land there easily. You've got loads of troops to just sit on cities, and you can drive forward pretty nicely there. I think that the airborne troops are amazing, because that's what you use to just plop into these cities, Jonathan, and we totally destroyed his homeland. With my grand plan of 5 ships and a couple of infantry following, I took the capital, but you did all this devastation all the way around with just like 3 or 4 airborne.
Yeah.
And you took
it's very difficult to defend against, and unfortunately I haven't been on the receiving end of it much. But there's a couple of ways, if he'd known it was coming, that he could have counteracted it, like leaving his troops in the city, for example. Anything like an armoured fighting vehicle or a tank, just one of those in each city would have killed all of my troops. And also, you need to be on the lookout for air bases near your occupied land, or especially near your home cities, because it presents the threat of not only airborne, but troops being flown in or a big stack of strike fighters. So what I've done in the past is just, if I see it as a threat, just destroy the airbase.
Yeah. What's the range of the airborne troops? Because you have to build an airbase
400,
in Crimea.
but it doesn't really mean much. But if you kind of see on north of Sevastopol, which is the kind of the capital province in Crimea, you can kind of see a little circumference round it, which is the furthest I've been able to reach. So from north of Sevastopol, I can reach all the way up to Kharkiv and down to perhaps just north of Antalya and Adana, and all the way east I can get to Gali and Bucharest to the west. So that gives you a rough kind of idea of what it is.
Yeah, we can kind of see that ring. So it's not huge.
No, but then if you were to move over to the new Yugoslavia, or where Tim is in the Middle East, in tightly packed areas, then you can cover a lot of ground very quickly and do a lot of damage. And you can completely ignore the terrain which is around you, because you're flying over it. So if you're in mountainous areas, or especially jungle, then it's very, very effective. But that being said, if you were to go into Russia, then they become completely useless, because you can only hop between one province at a time.
Yeah, they're amazing. I'm warm to them. I think Poland's going to struggle defending against them, although Poland does have a good air defense, I think. But the combination that we've got going on is going to be pretty tough. This is going to be really, really nice, this fight. He's not got much help coming from France or Ukraine, I think, anymore. We're certainly going to get a bit of backlash now off Ukraine. They could be really, really angry and just send everything they've got maybe at my home cities, or they could try and systematically take back their cities and their land. And if they do, good on them, but it's put them back to the very start of the game. In fact, not even the start of the game, because don't you start with more than kind of 0 in each city? I don't think you do.
Yeah, really all he's got now is he's got the troops that he currently has. So whenever we spot those, we'll hunt them down one by one, and we'll know that he cannot make any more troops.
Yeah.
And as soon as he stopped coming and trying to take his cities back, then we can take the rest of his land. So I think after you've taken somebody's home cities, you don't need to do anything else. You just wait for them to come to you.
Oh wow, his capital's on 23% morale, so it's unlikely I'll hold that. We're probably going to get quite a lot going rogue. Even if he does manage to take them back, he's going to have to build up the player will have to build up their morale. That's going to take a long, long time. And even if they tried building a troop and a barracks straight away build the barracks with gold and then just clock on some troops on every city, it's going to take them very many hours on that low morale.
Sure, yeah.
They're absolutely done for. So we can pretty much focus on Poland, really. We can just, like you say, leave Ukraine to it. I saw something funny, actually. One of their furthest provinces in Serbia is on 5% morale. It's pretty dire.
John? The province, you say?
Just the province, yeah. But that's the lowest morale I've seen, 5%. And then his city... his outlying cities, the one nearest Poland is on 16%, so he's going to lose that. It's going to go rogue. It's called Slojnok or something.
Yep.
And then Timisoara, your namesake city, Tim, he's on 30%, so if he's got no troops on that, it's got a high chance of going rogue. And Craiova as well, 30%. This one's all right. So outlying cities, all his main cities, the morale is so low they're going to go rogue. What's Moscow on? Moscow's on 26%. That'll go rogue most likely. Oh wow! And St. Petersburg near Norway, it's on 21%. Some of these cities will have something like anywhere between a 50 and 100% chance of going rogue.
I'm definitely kind of quite afraid of the Chosen now. I didn't tell you, but before I had 2 cities that were like on a 20% chance of going rogue, and they both went rogue, and like within an hour of being able to capture it with extra support, I lost 2 of them. So I've had to sit back on them, and that's held me up for another 2 days. It's definitely something you can use as a weapon against another country. If Ukraine were too powerful, we'd want them to go rogue, so they'd have to fight rogue state, and that would slow them down more. The Chosen. But now, as we're on the upper hand, we might want to consider what we can do to mitigate all of this land just turning completely black.
Yeah, we've got a problem with the Chosen now in Ukraine. It's funny though, because like if you imagine if we bounced into, see the Baltic states right near Norway, if we'd just like ignored Ukraine and just gone into there and just taken all those cities and then gone away again and let them go rogue, then you kind of like drop a rogue bomb, don't you, and leave them to deal with it. But this is on our doorstep, and they're like,
I'm not sure how they behave. Like if you were to set rogue state off in one country, like would it cross the border into another country? I've got a feeling it kind of stays within the border, and it's like relevant to the country's territory you've taken. But okay. I'm really not sure about that.
Well, we're gonna have to see what we can do to take Ukraine now, and I think my focus is just going to go on Poland though for a while, and maybe take the odd city where I can. Just gradually keep expanding, doing a good job in Greece and so on. Heraklion, once that turns past midnight, I'll be able to bounce these troops onto Patras, and then go on to Thessaloniki. So it's just Larissa and Athens, maybe a couple of days after that, and then just take the main bulk of my force through Greater Serbia, and then maybe, probably even start cracking into new Yugoslavia on the way up to Poland, and all the time just reinforcing the main army that's going up there and getting more and more stuff, people and troops. And I can get my boats coming down here, that river. There's a few cities on the edge there. Oh, I've finally started researching cruisers, which is nice. That's going to be 15 hours, so I can start building them, and I'm upgrading my frigates. So maybe I'll get a bit more helicopter defense. No, not on the next upgrade. A bit more missile defense, maybe. Not even the next upgrade after that. So, I'll research air superiority next. Oh, it's only 30 minutes it takes to research it once you've got the resources. I've got 300 rare materials, so it's going to take me another 15 hours to get the resources.
I can tell you some. I'm doing quite well for rares now. I've got 102 an hour.
That's very nice. That's very good. Yeah, I'm on 109, so you're doing well there. I've got plenty of supplies coming in. I'm pretty desperate for more components, but I'm increasing the supply bit by bit because I've got a component-heavy army, or a need for. But I'm about to complete the 2 level 4 arms industries on the component cities. I've just started building a level 3 recruiting office in Istanbul, so I can just pump stuff out faster. It's 45% faster when that's built. So that'll be really nice. I can build units nice and quick. And then, building a level 4 army base on the Dome City. So I can start building stuff like rocket launcher. It'd be nice to have some rocket launchers, because I've kind of done the SAMs. And I'm not sure what else takes level 4 army base. I think that's the main headline.
Air defense needs a level 5.
Oh yeah, I'd like to get toward that at some point. Wow, level 5. Yeah, because the missiles.
It's kind of end game stuff. For those who don't know, the theatre defense is against missiles.
Yeah, and
do get those again.
Yeah, it'd be nice to have at least your home cities well defended, or at the very least the capital. And did I put air defense on the capital yet? I thought I had. Put it on Samsun instead. Oh, have I nearly built an air defense? No. Yeah. Thought I put an air defense on the capital. Thought I had 4. Maybe not. Just 3. Okay. Have you used the select all much? Right click, select everything. Oh, I do have 4 SAM launchers. Where's the other one then? Have to find my 4th SAM launcher. Oh, there it is. It is on the capital. You just can't see the picture because there's so many units there. So we've got air defense on the capital city, Ankara. So that gives you 2 missile defense at the very least, and 8 against an aerial attack. So I'm looking after the wounded when they come in. Does that make you feel good about the hospital services?
Absolutely.
Does, yeah.
I could upgrade the hospital, actually. Shall I do that? I'll do that. And I think when you just start building the hospital, when it's like 1% in, you get the increase in value, don't you?
You do.
Yeah, marginally. It's like a proportion of it, depending on how much is left to build.
Oh, is it? because it says it ticks over. It says four healing points per day when it does it. Okay. Well, anyway.
The rounding on the game is a bit off. So if it says like 4, it might be more like 3.6 or maybe even 3.4. I've noticed there's some inconsistencies with that.
That's fair enough. My air superiority is flying in. It's 27 minutes away. So I don't know if it'll be there in time for the next helicopter attack. But we're quite close to Poland now, aren't we? And I'm only going to expand now. The front line is there with me. I've just deployed all my troops and there's no stopping them now. And I'll just keep adding to them, building a combat recon in Izmir and Sheridan tank in Istanbul. Another frigate in Adana, soon to be a cruiser. And that's about it. But once the recruiting office is complete in Istanbul, I'll just be pumping them out from there. Keep building up the recruiting office. Level 4 gives you a 70% increase in mobilization. Level 5 on recruiting office gives you 100% mobilization. So at the moment, the Sheridan tank takes me 17 hours. Started off making the first one in about 23. So that gets pretty good. Should we do a resource sound off, or you not
sure.
bothered? Yeah.
Yeah. Why not?
All right. Supplies 277 an hour.
232.
219.
Nice. That's building up. Components 227.
Oof, 166.
Just 138.
Fuel 132.
179.
Cool.
89.
That's your victory site, isn't it, Jonathan? On the fuel. Electronics 107.
122.
119.
Nice. Rare materials 109.
102.
111.
Haha. And manpower 207.
224.
176.
And I must say I've got 19,000 manpower. But then I haven't been bashing out the troops. Money, $1,384 an hour.
$1,538.
Whoa.
1,244.
Cool. Jonathan, where are you getting your cash money? Is it because you got so much land?
There's a lot of land in Africa. Yeah, I mean, if you have a look south, I've taken all of Ethiopia now and most of the East African Federation, so that's only growing. It's just a lower population density down here and a lot of provinces. That's where all the cash comes from.
Yeah, a lot more land. Very nice.
So I've decided to utilize it and price out the market a little bit. So I've stuck up the highest value buy offers for supplies, components, and rare materials on the market. So anybody who wants to sell, they'll automatically default through me because I'm giving them the most value for money.
Very nice. But not components.
Yeah, on components. Did I not say components? Yes, just supplies, components, and rare materials.
But what's your offer on components?
1,000 at 10. I've got 2,000 at 10 on supplies, and 1,000 at 20 for rare materials. So if you just refresh, then you should be able to see it.
When did you do that?
Trade embargo. Just a few minutes ago, I just popped it up.
Okay, very nice. Okay, you cornered the market, as it were. So that sounds good. Yeah, I mean, the market's dried up a bit. I was getting the odd few components in because, like you, I was putting in an offer. But sounds like I should take those offers back then.
I don't really want to undercut you, but we could always do some deals on the side if anyone's running at a deficit.
Yeah, it's fine. Okay, yeah, I can see your offer now. 1,000 at 10. May as well just take the money back. There's no point it sitting there. Yeah, and it's only really components I was focusing on. Okay, very nice. So I can start doing a bit of intel actually, because I've got a bit of spare cash. I'm going to put something on Warsaw. I'm going to go. So recruit a secret agent, and then put him on intelligence. I'm going to go for 1 agent on intelligence in Warsaw. See if that does anything. Often takes a day, doesn't it? Or does it when it ticks over at midnight in 3 hours? Is that when it does it?
Yeah, it's always at the same time. And your opponent, they can have counter ops on a city if they've seen it come in. But there's also just a failure rate for troops. So I always like to put a couple of intelligence doing the same thing on a city if I can. But it's always worth just giving it a go and sticking 1 on there too.
Yeah, we'll see what 1 does. I can always build it up. I've only got enough money for 1. So we can see how that goes. So air superiority, next research and build. And you're doing the air base to get near him. Very nice. What are you researching at the moment, Tim?
So I've almost finished the level 2. Is it level 2 airborne infantry and level 3 airborne officer? Next after that, I think I'm going to go for subs after that, and get the elite subs as well, and sort of block off this like mouth into all my cities with the subs that are stronger in coastal waters.
Very nice. You're getting very strong now. Very, very strong. Okay. Jonathan, what are you up to?
I am continuing to build some airborne and strike fighters, kind of switching between it. I've designated like what I'm going to build in each one of my cities. I'm going to work towards building some rocket launchers, so I'm getting towards a level 4 army base. I'm a little bit behind. In the meantime, I'll get a couple of army bases going so I can build SAM turrets and mobile radars. And just churn out a few more troops, maybe a couple of combat recons to replace the ones I've lost. Because I'm down a fair bit now.
Yeah, forget about the radar.
Yeah, mobile radar would be really good just to sit in a few key places. Like you could stick one on Tripoli or Heraklion or Crimea again. Most likely I'll have one near the entrance to the Suez Canal, or this little island out here, Socotra. That would be a really good place to have a recon.
Yeah.
And more importantly, just going into battle, they work really well with lots of troops, including the airborne. So if you can see somebody's left their city, you can just fly over and take it.
Yeah, radar's so good. It gives you so much sight, doesn't it? Oh, and actually, so, I mean, you were asking me which cities to go for, what had what on, and I was firing my air superiority fighter just over all of Ukraine's cities. And the way you do it is just aim for the waterway nearest the city, and then the waterway past the city, because you can't actually click on their land, because it asks if you want to, like, I don't know, declare war or something, but I hadn't quite gone in there and declared war. Still wanted the element of surprise. So rivers are not sovereign land. So that was a way we were doing some intel gathering, and then you were flying your troops in. It was very nice.
Yeah, and I mean, like, just the knowledge is the most important thing, because if I had no idea what was going on in there, I might have thought it was too much of a risk and maybe even assumed that he had troops sitting on all of his cities, because that might be something that I would do. But as a lot of players do who aggressively expand, like he has, crikey, all the way through Russia. If you have a look to the northeast, and we can kind of, make a guess that his troops have moved away from his homelands, but it's just a lot easier when you can just find out for yourself. Fly over an air superiority. There are other ways to do it. You can get UAVs too, or AWACS, or even a stealth bomber, and some of those craft can enter enemy airspace without declaring war as well. So it's It's good to bear that in mind.
Yeah, and they can be quite cheap. So there's lots of different ways to get intel, however you do it. But yeah, often people leave their home cities undefended. I've always kept a stack on Istanbul, and I've always had in mind that when I was invading Transcaucasia, that stack would be the defence for my north and my east flank. And I've built up the military logistics so I can get to my domed city very quickly from the capital or from Samsung, which I'm calling it. And the southern cities, I've thought I could... They're at less danger, but they're still at risk. So I just kept building stuff in Izmir. And then, again, I can get to those southern cities from the capital. Or I'll have boats, patrolling this sort of area, cutting off that section, really, from the Black Sea and the Med. So we'll see how we get on with that.
Ultimately, I feel like if you're taking the countries surrounding your home cities, then that's like an extra barrier. But you never want to be in a position that Ukraine has been in, where the enemy's pushing right up against your home cities.
Yeah, and he was very exposed, like I am, but had no boats whatsoever, and not much of a force within calling distance of his home cities to defend himself.
But you've been facing him, and it looks like he's had his back turned on us.
Yeah, big mistake.
I mean, he's gone on a weird walk all the way through Siberia, just not really achieving anything going out there.
No.
It's taken him days to get there as well, which is completely pointless, really.
It's taken 3 provinces.
They're just lost out there, lost in the snow.
It's probably taken about 5 days to take those 3 provinces, and achieved nothing. Bad move. Never crack into Russia. Poland next. Here we come. And I wonder if Norway will move on the Ukraine now he sees they're weak. We will see.
Maybe he's just waiting for us.
Maybe. Knows there's that buffer coalition in the middle. And seeing what Poland came out with, that stack of 5 attack helicopters, I mean, God only knows what Norway's got in store for us, and Ireland. Ireland have got Iceland, haven't they? Oh, and the coalition's elsewhere in the game. Yeah, Ireland's cracking into Iceland. Greenland, First Nations and Canada have pretty much taken North America. And Brazil is getting there with South America. So we're going to be coming up against some incredibly strong players and coalitions moving across the board. We're going to have to make sure that they don't take all the victory sites as well. But you're kind of heading towards one, Tim, a victory site, and I'm heading toward one, or we are heading toward one with the far sort of south west of Poland. Jonathan, you're kind of heading to one in Africa, so see what happens there. But you're also heading towards a very
tricky situation. It's a little bit precarious because I'm nearly close to going to war with Mozambique. I'm trying to go Cameroon into fighting him now, but it will just be us 3 down here. Cameroon is currently the closest to my home city, so I'm the most vulnerable against him. So I'm not sure whether I want to leave him be for now or go all out to war with him. If they fight each other and then kill off most of their troops, it might be a bit easier for me to invade. But I will be up against Mozambique's home city soon, and then once they're gone, then I can move in on this victory site, which is another oil refinery, which aside from the victory points, I really don't need.
Yeah, I've got excess fuel. I don't think it's the best one. Do you want me to send my ships down to attack his capital city?
If you've got any spare, then it would definitely be great to... you could kind of have them on standby near the mouth of the Suez Canal.
That's really out of my way. It's all or nothing. I can send them and attack or not, I think is the option.
Okay. I'll have to have a think about it. Definitely going for an attack then. I was considering moving my infantry officer back to heal, but I may just throw him at his capital.
They're going to take a while. Attack it. Shall I tell you how long it'll take to get there?
Yeah, how long will it take to get there?
1 day, 9 hours.
1 day, 9 hours. If I'm going to go for Mozambique, I'll probably need to make some more troops and move them down south. But I feel like I'm not going to attempt to take much land in Europe now. Anyway, I'll leave you to move through and mop up Ukraine now. He's been softened up, so I could focus more towards the south. But I feel like it'll be a fairly big battle on my hands down there.
Well, let me know what you want to do with the ships. I'll hold them off for now until you've had a proper think about it.
Yeah. Maybe wait a day or two and then execute the plan.
Yeah, okay. But still tell me, and bearing in mind how long it takes to get there, it's a day and a half. And then it's a day and a half back, so I'll be without my ships. So the sooner the better. But equally, I mean, yeah, they're going to be valuable protecting the homeland. But equally, I can't crack into Poland very much with them, even if I went
Maybe we should wait and see how Ukraine, Poland, and France react. It might be a little bit too soon to split up our forces that much.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm getting to a point where I'll be creating 2 stacks of ships. So once I've made this frigate, I'll be splitting my stack into 2 destroyers, 1 frigate. And then once I've made the cruisers, I'll have a cruiser in each stack as well. And I'll be able to have 1 in the Black Sea, 1 in the Med, and maybe 1 for away missions. So that's not far away. And Mozambique have strike fighters, don't they? So we'll need air defence, so it might be better to send 2 frigates down. Thinking about it.
Oh yeah, and then if you can kind of isolate the peninsula for Nampula and Matarika, then that might be all we need to do.
Yeah, once their capital city's gone, they're a goner, aren't they? And they're on the same peninsula as you. I'm thinking the frigates could be good for getting rid of their strike fighters to give you an easier time. You might struggle.
Yeah, I think the main thing is just giving my troops a little bit of rest. Because I had 18 this time a couple of days ago. I'm down to 12, and they're all very weak.
Wow. Yeah, you need to restock, and let's hope Mozambique doesn't attack you in the meantime.
I don't think he will. I feel like once I've taken all of East African Federation, we're going to be a bit of a stalemate.
Yeah.
So I'll chat with Cameroon and see if he wants to push into some of Mozambique's land. Maybe he'll go for Angola first.
Cool. Sounds good. Well, we've done a great episode, and I would say, any last thoughts?
No, none at all. Protect your home cities. So.
Yeah. No, that's fine. I might bring my ship step back down at some point as well, just to sit outside Istanbul. I quite like, and lots to cover tomorrow. The game's getting exciting, and we're going after the big dog Poland. Might take us a couple of days, but stay tuned, and it's goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me.
And goodbye from Tim.
Tim's gone, so yeah. Bye.
Over and out.